Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen here. Just give me 2 seconds to make sure I get this right. Okay. Okay, so you're probably all thinking to the Toastmaster brand. Oh, this is going to be a boring topic. I'll just turn my camera off. I won't bother listening. But the problem with that is this topic is the one that you should listen to because it's the one that is going to help you with all your promotions. It's important to stay connected to the international organization. And so when we're talking about the Toastmaster brand, what is Toastmasters known for? What is our slogan? Does anybody know it off the top of head? Feel free to unmute.
Where leaders are made.
Correct. Good job for Das. And the other piece to that is our core values. Anybody know what those are off the top of their head?
Respect, service, integrity, excellence.
Excellence.
Yeah, right on. And so those are what represent us, and that's what we need to make sure we highlight in everything we're doing when we're selling ourselves to the world. It strengthens our relationship to Toastmasters, and by having a cohesive brand, it allows everyone in the world to recognize Toastmasters across the world. And when we were looking at Freddie's presentation, everything that she had was all the Toastmaster brand. And you'll notice in her presentation, throughout the whole thing, she mentioned her club name every time she could. And that's about branding. That's about sharing your information. That's about keeping a consistent and in your face content of where you are. And so, why do we brand? Why is it important? Well, it helps us distinguish our club from the other clubs that are within our district of 64, but also within our clubs throughout the world. It helps brings recognition and trust that we are a legitimate Toastmaster club. It allows you to effectively communicate your club identity. And so, Freddie, in everything that they have done, as she was talking about there, everything that she was talking about, it all came back to why they're special. Every piece, every communication they have, it comes back to why they're special. And so that's their club identity. But not only that, it's the strength in numbers with all of our clubs. If all of us are having the same branding, all the same content, or not content, but colors, the personality, our logo is the same, then when somebody sees our poster, they know, oh, that's Toastmasters. I know them, and there's that much farther reach with everything we do. It helps future members recognize your club, what Toastmasters is, what they offer, and a brand helps future members have a perception to match our core values. So, what's the brand? Well, the brand, there's a whole bunch of things that the brand has. And you can go to toastmasters.org/brand portal for all the details, but let's talk about four major things. So on the brand portal, there's four major areas. There's colors, fonts, personality, and logo. And a couple of other ones that you might want to consider is your pictures and your clip art, making sure they have a positive spin. But okay, so now you're wondering, well, this limits my creativity. Well, that was my first thought when I started as PRM. I was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do a Halloween thing. I can't do that. And really, then when I started thinking about it and I started really focusing in on what the Toastmaster brand, it actually allowed me to have a clear, concise message. It was about the message and not about the Halloween graphic that I did for our Halloween party. It was about Toastmasters and what the benefits of Toastmasters has in everything that we do. Then it doesn't allow the graphics in my posters to cloud any misconceived notions about what Toastmasters is. So let's dig in. So the colors. Toastmasters has three major colors, and that's the true maroon, loyal blue, cool gray. And then this past year, they added officially white and black. Then they have a fifth one in there, which is your happy yellow that's supposed to be an accent color. Now, these aren't shades of red. This isn't a shade of blue. They actually have actual shades and purposes of colors. And so anytime you're in any program, whether you're using Word, if you're using Canva, they all allow you to use the hex number. And all you need to do is type it in and you get the color. And there's not trying to guess it what monitor you've got that's got a different color. Is it going to print the right color? You know you've got the right color when you start using the hex. There's other pieces in the brand portal that will give you different numbers if you want to use a different variety, such as in here, your C12, your M95, that'll give you the gradation if you really want to get down to it. But the common thing you use is that hex number on anything we do. Next is fonts. And so fonts, Toastmasters wants us to make sure for every communication that we do that the font that we use, everybody can read. It needs to be clear, professional, organized, and clear in what you're typing. If you were to do like a Halloween poster and you use like a chiller where like the words look like they're melting, sometimes that can't be read very well or understood very well. And so then your message gets lost if they can't read your font. And so they've laid out 4 major fonts. So there's Myriad Pro, Gotham, Monstrate, and Source Sans Pro. Now, depending on the program you're using, some are available and some are not. And so this is why they give you multiple ones to use and alternatives if that one's not available. The next is the logo. So this is our sacred piece that never should be messed with. So many times I've seen posters where people will take the Toastmasters International and put their club name in the middle of that. There should be nothing that changes as far as the Toastmaster logo, with the exception of going to black and white or a straight white version. The alternative is you can add your club name underneath the logo, but it shouldn't interact with the original logo and anything you do. They also tell you minimum size so that your logo is not like super tiny and nobody can tell what it is. They want the logo, if you're going to put the logo on, that it be something then clear and concise that everybody can read. The last one I wanted to talk about is personality. So our personality reflects how the organization interacts with our audience. It's the touch point. It's through all of our communications. We want to have a positive experience in anything we do. And so you'll see this first poster here, he's got a smile on his face. He's up there in front of people. You'll see there's a girl with her chin on. She looks like she's listening. She's excited about Toastmasters. Then you get this other picture here. This one's a negative one. Oh, people are sitting there bored. Somebody looks like they're yelling. And that is a negative connotation on anything we do. So we want to make sure we have strong leadership, strong empowerment in anything we do and be a positive, fun piece to all of our communication. All our brand communication helps strengthen our relationship with our target audience, and the Toastmasters International brand is our singular identity that shows everyone who we are, what our core values are, and our personality within Toastmasters. So now we know what the brand is. So how do we use our brand? We're now needing to go and we want to create a poster. So how do we make a poster that stands out from the rest? Why am I putting up posters and people are taking them down? Or why am my posters are everywhere and no one's coming to see or visit our club? Well, there's a number of things that could happen. And Freddie touched on a few of those, making sure that when you put a poster up, you get permission on that poster. But also maybe it's a case of somebody took that poster because, oh, I want to go to that. I'm interested. I'm going to take that poster. Or the poster has been there for eons and somebody's like, okay, let's change things up and take it down. So making sure you're constantly changing out posters, making sure you get approval, maybe having a poster that's got a tagline that gets your like a phone number or an email that they can rip off the bottom so they can take it home to go connect to the club. QR code, like Freddie said, when you click on the QR code, it goes straight to the club information. Those are all good pieces to add to your poster. So let's talk about some of the do's and the don'ts about poster creating. So something that you want to do in your posters is you want to keep your important information readable. It's the most important piece on your poster, and letting something overpower that most important piece is a very common mistake. You don't want the date to be teeny tiny and they have one big massive photo and everyone has a hard time reading any of your content. We want to keep the title short and catchy to draw attention. The longer drawn out titles can leave a person confused or bothered or not, or they don't even bother reading the whole title. And so they only read the first three words. And then they don't understand what they're even reading or why that poster is even up. You want to keep clear text to the point, use bullet points and numbers and headlines to keep the most important information at the focal point. You don't want paragraphs upon paragraphs with the details mixed in the middle of that paragraph because it'll get lost. You want to use eye-catching graphics, use graphics that help add the value to what the topic is that you're presenting in your poster. And the last one is you want to have a goal or a target audience with who your poster is talking to. So for example, if you're a senior club that you are a social club that you come and you want to share stories, you're going to want to tell people about that part of your club. But if you're a young, vibrant club and you want to make sure that, say, you're a corporate club that really focuses on giving leadership skills and improving the communication skills so your members have a chance to move up within the company. Well, you want to target those people. Of course, we invite everybody to come and experience Toastmasters, but what makes your club special? And so that you can target that communication to people that are going to love that part of your specialty in your club. On the don'ts, so we don't want to cram so much onto the poster that everything gets lost. We want to leave a little bit of mystery so that they're going to want to check it out or that they're going to contact the phone number to get more details. You don't want to use jargon, acronyms, or abbreviations, so you're not going to use like DTM or you're not going to use VP of PR because they don't know what that is. The general public doesn't know what our acronyms mean, and so that's going to shy them away from understanding that. Again, I said you don't want to use full paragraphs or long sentences anywhere on your poster. People see a lot of words and they won't bother reading it. They'll say, "Oh, that's too much," and walk away. Don't use small font. If you can't read all your points on your poster from at least 10 feet away, you won't be effective. Because if somebody has to get up real close to look at your poster and see what the date is, they won't bother. They want to know if they're walking by, they want to see all the details and continue on their way. The last one is don't use extreme bright colors. Well, if you're following the Toastmaster brand, you don't have to worry about it. But sometimes those don't print off very well. Sometimes they are distracting. Sometimes they look childish and not professional. So now we know what the do's and don'ts are. We know what the Toastmaster brand is. So let's look at a couple of posters. So I have these 3 posters that I got from the internet. And some of you remember seeing these in a previous presentation. But when we're looking at these posters, everybody get off mute. I want to hear your voices. What are some things that are in violation of the Toastmaster brand or a good quality poster?
The logo is changed on one of them.
Correct. Yes. And this public speaking sucks. They put the club name in there, which that's a no-no. Absolutely.
On the second one, the date that it's taking place is so little you can't even hardly see it.
Correct. Absolutely.
And it doesn't have the logo.
Doesn't have the logo, it doesn't have the Toastmaster colors. How do you even know that this is Toastmasters? Really? Like just says speech contest, and then you look down here at your hashtags, it's got Toastmasters, but it doesn't otherwise it you don't know.
And
I
your last one,
yeah.
the information up in the right-hand corner, you wouldn't be able to see that even up close.
I know, right? Like
Magnifier.
when I first downloaded this poster, and we're talking about this one here, I
Yeah.
had zoomed in so far that by the time I could zoom in to that it was big enough to read, it was all like pixelated and you couldn't read it
Yeah.
at all. So that was not useful either. But at the same time, best in the show, like the best show, like what's that have to do with Toastmasters?
I don't know, but the dog looks happy.
It does. There's some positivity for sure. Your personality is there. But the other piece too is public speaking sucks. Is that the kind of connotation we want to tell people about?
Negative, not.
No, no. We want to say public speaking is fun. We have lots of fun in our Toastmaster clubs. So seeing these are not a good quality poster in a number of different things, just like we said. So let's look at a few good ones. So is there anything on these that don't meet the criteria for Toastmaster brand or a good poster? I blocked out the contact information in here because I just didn't want to embarrass anybody with their poster. So normally there's content there. I just blocked it out just so.
Well, I think in the last one and the second one, I think the Toastmasters logo is too small.
Actually, it's 3 inches by 3 inches is the minimum. And so when you do print it out on a page, it is more than that.
I would say the middle one and the third one are probably meeting all the criteria for color and everything, but there's so much information, it's a little overwhelming.
Yes,
I don't want to read it because it's so much, like it's not the first one, I'm instantly reading it because it's quick. But the other ones, it's like, oh, what's all this material? Like it's a lot of material.
yes,
And it's and the I guess it's too small. The the uh lettering is too small.
if you had this on a poster, it probably wouldn't be that small. So you got maybe there's a little bit of a gray area in there, but yes, I would agree that this probably has too many words, or that all the words are bolded, and so there's nothing that stands out in it either. And there's no real like your date is smaller, like it's down here at the bottom, and so you have to kind of really look for that date. And this third one doesn't even have a date,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe the criteria should be is the name of the Toastmasters and what date is what date is this that's going
Yes,
to come to be or happening or
correct. In this third one, it did have the Toastmaster Club. In here again, I took it out just because I didn't want to embarrass anybody when we're nitpicking on their poster.
Like the middle one, I really like to join our fun friendly group as we travel the worlds of wonder. Like that's a catchy statement. I'd like to just see that and nothing more, and then everything could be bigger letter. And for the voice of Toastmaster, I like work on communication skills. That kind of speaks to like if they
Yes,
just
I
if they
would
just
say
have one statement, then it's like, oh, I wouldn't mind working on my communication skills. Like when I hear impromptu speaking, well, what's that if I'm not a Toastmaster? So I would feel intimidated reading that, going, I don't know what this is, so I don't better not go.
Yeah, like I would agree that there's too many bullet points here. I would say a maximum of three in who you're targeting. Again, this is I would say is one that they didn't know who their target audience was. And they were kind of, there's always that you're trying to please everyone, you need to please no one mentality. And so they were trying to hit everything that anybody might be interested in. And so I think if they streamline this down to two or three, then they have room for the date a little bit bigger and would have been a little more impactful with it. 100%.
And I also I love your choice of colors in the first one. The gray with the black, it's my eyes don't pull out the way they do on that first one.
Very true. Yep. Yep. The one thing that they do well with is they use the Toastmaster colors. There's no real issue as far as the colors on the Toastmaster within the Toastmaster brand. I would say the logo meets all the criteria as far as not being changed, the sizing, the space, leaving some space around it so that it stands out a little bit and it's not like overlapping something else. I would say that there's some positivity. There's no negativity in anything that those posters are doing, whereas the first three were very not on brand as far as the personality that we have in Toastmasters. And so I would say that they're well organized to a certain extent. You know what they're about, you know where you're going. There's some confidence in understanding what Toastmasters is, and this is like a legitimate club or organization you're going to. Whereas with the first three, you don't really know what you're getting. Like you don't know is this a real legitimate Toastmaster club that they're doing a speech contest poster, or those kinds of pieces. At least with the Toastmaster brands, and trust in the brand that they're following it and they understand what Toastmasters is all about. And so the last little bit I just wanted to say, so now that we've gotten our branding, we know how to do a poster. Freddie had a great presentation about looking at what's special within your club and sharing that with the world. And so now it's your opportunity to take this, and hopefully this will help you brand out, expand out, and take the brand with you in all your communications. And so I'll leave it with a few questions if anybody's got any questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Connie there?
I got one.
Shoot.
Hey. Of course, it falls. I'm just kind of more of a kind of an advice on this one. I'm kind of we'll see what you kind of same way. With the presence, is it kind of be one of the things that you yourself should know the brand manual, but you should definitely make sure that we all know for club officers, your four important tools is the club leadership handbook, but for VPPRs, their outer habit should be that brand manual. They should know that thing top to bottom. That I just want to make sure if you're on the same way with that, should be required. Me when they get in that office, read that brand manual, so you know how everything works.
Yeah, like I would say, you as a VP of PR, you should know the brand manual inside and out to a certain extent. Yes, you may need to, go and reference it from time to time, but your VP of PR are the one creating the content. You're the brand ambassadors. You're the ones that are putting stuff out into the world. And if you're not following the brand and the Toastmaster branding resources, then you're missing out on having that connection within the international organization, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, you said you could find the colors with hex. How do you do that?
So Robert, what program do you typically use when you're creating your posters?
Photoshop and Leap.
Okay. So in Photoshop, when you go to pick your color of your font, there's an option for more detail, like instead of just picking like your little color grid that gives you your little square, down below that is also got little white boxes where you can add, it'll say hex, it'll say Pantone, and I forget what the third one is, but it'll give you a little white box that you just have to type that number in and hit enter, and it'll pick that exact color.
Okay, so you don't choose the. Okay, I'll have to find it.
Yeah, like it in Canva, it also does the same thing. Quickly. I'll quickly show you in Canva here. Oh, wrong window. So your font, you can go up here to your little A, and when you
Yep.
click on here, now I've got the brand kit all set up here, but all I have to do here is in this color is
Yeah.
then type in one of the hex number. And I think one of them is 4561. Oh, no.
You dyslexed.
What
Put
were
in
my
4165.
Oh,
That's
60.
okay.
I was close. So if I wanted to change this font, I just highlight it, click my thing up here, and then I should just be able to type 004165. Oh, and it won't let me do it.
That's all right. I'm going to just copy off their handbook and have them as you've got them as a set. I'll just
Yeah,
get
I
a
do.
file called Toastmasters with the colors in it and just pick them.
There we go. So if I did the maroon one, so I just put the maroon number in here, and my top of my search, the color is
Right.
right there at the top.
Okay.
Yeah. So up here it gives me, it says try, and you could type blue, or you could put in a code number. And you can put the hex number in there.
Is Canva easy to learn?
Oh my gosh, Robert, you will love Canva. I am a huge, like before I started with PRM, I was huge publisher. I use publisher for absolutely everything. Now I haven't even opened publisher in probably 2 years, and everything I do is in Canva. The so much way more easier to use than publisher is. And some of the things that just frustrate me beyond belief as far as resizing and whatever
Yeah.
make it so much easier in Canva. And I
Okay.
think we have planned, and correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but I think we are planning an evening again just to go through how to use Canva.
Okay. Sign me
believe
up.
so, yes.
It's a great it's a great program. I can't talk anything bad about the program at all.
Is it expensive?
No, there is actually a free version of Canva. And usually when there's a free and a paid version of Canva or of a program, you always get like maybe 20% of it's free and then you got to pay for the other 80%. I would say it's completely the opposite for Canva. 80% of it is free and 20% is a part of the paid version.
And
So
if you're nonprofit, I think it's free.
In the US, I have yet to figure that out in Canada. The US Toastmasters get Canva for free or a significantly big discount. But even the cost of it's like $150 for the year, which isn't really not that bad either for a price when you break it down into the month. Verdas, you have a question, I think?
I think Karen had one. She put it in the chat.
There is a website, I think it's called Litho Download, that if you log into your Toastmasters International will bring that up. So anything in that manual that hacks, you can copy paste. That's what I use for like all the images that is approved by Toastmasters because it's there.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Karen, does AI use Toastmaster colors and logos? I have not played with AI enough to know that for sure for an answer. Um, Adam, how do you know anything contrary to what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, I do not.
I think you could probably tell it and then it would probably get you close. But I have not played enough with the AI stuff to know for sure.
So AI is as in what apps, computer application?
It's AI is your artificial intelligence. It's
No, like when we use PowerPoint on the right side, there's a designer suggestion. Is that it, or like is that different in the application, a different computer application? That's why I'm asking, what's the person using?
Karen, are you able to give us an idea of what program you're using?
Oops. No, actually, what it was that a poster was generated for a speaking contest, and they used AI to make the poster.
Okay.
And I was just concerned about when we talk about the, I don't know what program he used, but I just was wondering how it compared in relation to, the colors, the, Toastmaster International logo, and that, so that if I had to make a comment on it, I wouldn't look stupid. That's all. So that's why I was wondering if it was comparable or if they were using the same things. But I don't know. To look at it, it looks off, but I don't know enough about the whole thing to, because like we talked about having, only 3 or 4 colors. This one seems to have a few more colors into it. So I guess I'd have to show it to you to think what you thought about it. But I was just wondering. But I think you answered my question.
Yeah, like with kind of any program you use, you can also do a drop thing to kind of get a comparison of what the file, like the hex number is or the Pantone number is that's currently in there to see whether it compares and how far off it is. If you really have to consider like really do that, then it's probably close enough that it's not gonna be, no one's gonna be screaming at your door saying you didn't do this or that kind of thing. But
Okay.
yeah, from what
Okay,
I
thank
know
you.
with the AI stuff, you really have to kind of give it the information to start with. And so if they've given the information, then it should relatively pick it up and continue with it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Ray has a question in the chat there. Why do you not use the Pantone colors? I think they're recognized worldwide.
Yeah, they are. And you can use them all. Like either one works just as well. For me, it was easier to remember the hex number than trying to remember the Pantone number. And with if I was using Publisher, I would have put the Pantone number in. Just with Canva, it worked well better with the hex number.
Awesome. Any last minute questions there?
Question with the branded pictures. Is there anywhere to get more of the branded pictures? I know they got the Liffle site on the connected to the Toastmasters website, but is there any other ways to get more branded pictures from Toastmasters?
Well, there's a ton of branded pictures on the TI website for sure. Like there's hundreds of them there.
Okay. Not like
I think they're under the brand portal.
the
Yeah.
brand images. Okay.
And do you have to look at them like one at a time?
I no, I think
On the Lito download, no, you will see them the way you see your pictures in your folder, right? So you see all the pictures. You select one that will enlarge, and then you can copy that, because when you copy, it goes to the clipboard, and then you can paste it on whatever computer application you use.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, they're little thumbnails, and then you could click on the thumbnail to make it bigger to
Yeah.
look at it, and then minimize it to get the rest of the thumbnails as you go through.
Okay.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you guys. If you have any other questions, give me a shout. You know where my email is. You know where I am. I'm kicking around.